checking in no bag, shopping when we land. Big FN bag of ballin'. Plead the fifth if I get caught, they talk. Came through dripping on them, I been saucing.
Today, I'm going to be discussing how you can drastically boost your win rate with this one little simple trick. This is mainly for people that have a low win rate, but a high risk reward system, or you're just not satisfied with the win rate you're getting right now, or you don't know where to target when you're trading, and so you get really confused and you have really unrealistic RR. Now, typically you guys know risk reward ratio and win rate are typically inverse. The higher your risk reward, the farther your targets are from your entry, the lower your win rate will be. The closer your target is from your entry, the higher your win rate will be. And that's just naturally how it is based upon mathematical principles. For example, instead of someone, let's say you're someone that takes a high risk reward trading system, maybe you target this off this IFEG, for example. If you know, you know. If you don't know, then you can probably look this up for free on YouTube. But I do also teach it within my course. It's just one of the entry models, but it's not an entry model I like because the risk reward is very poor. The entry model I would use in this case would have been about like 7 risk reward, right? So it's almost double the IFEG entry model risk reward, but you know, it is what it is. Right? So rather than having your typical targets based upon price action or based upon a flip or an origin or liquidity, right, which is what a lot of people target, have and change your trading system to either incorporate a break-even method. So let's say you want to break even at a higher low. So maybe we can break even at this internal changing character right here. You could break even. In this case, you would have got hit out at break even, which is fine. This is part of your trading system. You should be back testing this as well. You don't want to be just blindly following what I'm saying. You want to make sure that it works well with your trading system, and preferably this is good for people that already have a profitable strategy that's mechanical enough. But if your strategy is not mechanical enough and it's not profitable, this low-key could make your strategy also profitable, because maybe it just is highlighting a weakness that you just don't completely understand where to really set your targets when you're trading, and that's completely fine, especially as a beginner, right? This is something you definitely do need to work on. But again, there's 2 things you want to incorporate, or you can incorporate both. So break even aggressively and targeting 1R static. And you can incorporate both, right? You can break even here, and let's say price never hits you out break even, rather than targeting maybe something up here or somewhere farther that you typically target with your lower win rate system, you just target a static 1-to-1 risk reward, and you let math play out and carry your trading account. So you can either have, again, your target at static 1 risk reward, or target somewhere very close based upon price action. So again, you could be targeting an internal high or internal low, depending if you're shorting or longing. But I'm gonna give you guys some examples today. So let's say you want to incorporate a system where you target static 1-to-1 risk reward, okay, and you include break even at the internal changing character. Okay, so let's say you take a trade off here, right? And I don't know what your entry model is, guys, but let's say you take an IFEG entry model right here, off here, and instead of having, let's say you usually target here, right? This is also a valid target here for me, right? Let's say you usually target here for your trading system, and eventually we get to it, but until way later. And typically this is because we took out high time frame liquidity, external liquidity. That's what happened here. So I would not be targeting that low. But let's say you were someone that was trying to trade a continuation here, targeting that low, and obviously you get hit out at break even, if not a stop loss, if you just set and forget. So instead of doing that and having a loss here, given you have a win, incorporating this break even and win rate trading system where you found a break even point based on price action. So let's say you break even here. Well, in this case, you actually do indeed, unfortunately, price does hit your break-even point, and immediately hits your break-even anyway. So this would be a break-even trade, but your target would be a 1-to-1 risk reward. So in this case, rather than your typical trading system targeting here, you have a winner here. So you have 2 wins here instead of having this is probably going to be a break-even and a break-even. So you'll be up 2 risk reward, not 2 risk reward, then down 2 risk reward, or at break-even. Another good example, we could, let's say we take out this inducement here, okay, and we get a nice entry model here. We enter off here. You would break even here, for example, at a point. But typically, look, in this case, you hit 1-to-1 risk reward, which is your TP, static TP, before it hits your break even, and that could most definitely happen as well, right? So again, this is up to you, up to your back testing, how you want to really incorporate this break even and 1-to-1 risk reward static trading system. But I'm just showing you guys here how you can be a very simple, intuitive way to or mechanical way of really just increasing your win rate if you are someone that is not good at handling your psychology when it comes to trading, right? Again, for example, right here, let's take an entry model here off a liquidity sweep. And you would break even, you would break even right here. This would be your break even point, but if you're targeting 1-to-1 risk reward, you actually, oh my gosh, you would hit about a 2 risk reward even before your break even point. So you would hit break even, or you hit your TP literally within 5 minutes, roughly 5 minutes. So again, this is also really, really good for people that actually have a personality that's close to scalping. Typically, you want to match your personality with your training system. No, you want to match your training system to your personality. So if you're someone that can hold trades for a very long time, and you know you're very patient, swing trading, or maybe cashing the big trades is your thing. But if you're someone that is very impatient, that struggles and finds yourself FOMOing a ton, that means you need a training system that is a lot more faster. You need a strategy that's a lot more faster, a lot more executions to keep your brain and personality going and maintain yourself, rather than trying to fight your inner thoughts, right? It'll be very hard for someone like me, for example. I'm like a scalper intraday trader. It'll be really hard for me to do swing trading. I used to try it and it just was not easy for me because you have to be very patient and waiting for the entries, right? I can personally hold the trades, but it's just for me, based on my data, I could make a lot more better returns day trading my strategy I'm teaching to all the course members and private 101 students. So that's why I've ever since stuck with really intraday day trading rather than swing trading. But again, everyone's lifestyle does depend. Some people don't have time, right? So it all depends on how you make use of that time. But literally, you can see in these examples, you'll be hitting TP sometimes within a minute, 1 to 3 minutes, not even sometimes, if you're targeting 1-to-1 risk reward. And in this case, if you're targeting where you typically would target, you might actually catch a 1-to-7, right? But again, you gotta keep in mind, catching that 1-to-7 might come with 3 losses here in a row, or 2 losses in a break even before that 1-to-7. And if you miss out on this 1-to-7, you end the day with literally -1 risk reward. So rather than catching and risking potentially ending the day with -1 risk reward, if you were to do 1-to-1 risk reward TP, you would be up 1, 2, 3, 4. You'd be up 4 risk reward for the day. Even if you miss the big winning trade, you'll be still up 3 risk reward for the day. And that is one of the big benefits also of having very short targets, or targeting something that's very close, like 1-to-1, because you're fine. Like your drawdown in terms of equity curve is going to be very nice. You're going to have a very smooth and nice equity curve that's making higher lows and higher highs, in comparison to a trading system where you have a low win rate and high risk reward, where you could have a very unsteady equity curve, something like this, right? You could have a lot of periods of drawdown, but of course with a high win rate system, you have a lot less periods of drawdown. So it's a very good option. I highly recommend for people that have problems with their psychology and always figuring out that they're missing the big trade that's going to carry their account. Because when you're trading, here's the problem. When you're trading with a super low win rate system, what I consider low win rate is honestly anything below 40%, right? If you miss the 4 out of 10 trades in that system, or even 2 out of the 4 winning trades in a 4 out of 10 win rate system, you're gonna potentially be negative after 10 trades rather than up, right? If someone's trading some system that has a 70% win rate, you could miss like 2 trades and they could be the losing ones, right? And you'd still be up a lot, right? So again, there's pros and cons to every trading system. There's no perfect answer for all. It's more so matching the trading system you want to trade with your own personality. That way you're not fighting yourself, because trading, as people know, is also part psychological, right? I hate to say it, but there is some sort of psychology in trading, but that only comes after you have built a trading system that you have backtested properly. Otherwise, psychology is not gonna, a psychologist, right? A therapist is not gonna be profitable in trading unless they have something that's proven based upon just backtesting, really, honestly, and having something that statistically works. Otherwise, you're wasting your time trying to guess the market, right? So for example, let's say you take the IFVG entry model here. Look how fast you hit TP. You hit TP in about 3, 4, 5, 6, around 6 candles, 6 minutes. You hit TP at 101. instead of having to maybe be worried about where to set your targets, things like that, right? So this also reduces really the need to think as much, especially someone that deals with a lot of stress. When you're in a trade, you have a hard time holding your trades to your target, so you get out early. At that point, just incorporate a high win rate system. Either have a very aggressive break even or target a very close risk reward like 1-to-1. I wouldn't suggest people doing like 1 to 0.5 risk reward, which is negative risk reward, because your winners are twice as less, or your winning trade in general is less than your losing trade, in terms of you're making less than how much you're losing on your losing trade. So you're losing more than what you're making per trade. I wouldn't suggest that, just because it's a lot harder mathematically to have a good expected value statistically based upon a negative risk reward system. If you have a 1-to-1 reward system, even after spreading commissions, if you can at least maintain around a 60 to 70% win rate while trading live, you will be guaranteed profitable at a 1-to-1. So math is also a lot easier to calculate when you're trading a static 1-to-1 risk reward system. And again, it doesn't have to be my strategy, it could be any strategy, but you just want to backtest to make sure that does work. But if you truly are interested in learning a strategy that generally works, and you want to speed up your equity curve, or how fast you're progressing in trading, maybe you're new, maybe you're someone that's been trading for 1 or 2 years. I've had people come to me that have 1.5 years of trading experience and they still weren't profitable, but once they learned everything I taught them, they slowly started seeing success and results, passing funded accounts, getting payouts, all sorts of things, right? So I'd highly suggest, again, if you really want to invest in yourself, to check out the course or one-on-one mentorship. Again, it's not a requirement, but I'm just trying to help a lot of people out to speed up their learning curve, because I know it definitely took me a while to get the hang of how profitable trading really works, not only on the charts, but also from the mental perspective, and using math and combining all these things together to make someone profitable in the long run. So hope you guys did enjoy today's video on really a very simple tip and trick on improving your win rate, while also what type of people this type of trading system is really built towards.